Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the Tuesday 8th of June, and starting with the Russell. Nice to see the Russell pop up in line with our count here in terms of wave 4 to wave 5 here, and looking for 5 waves of smaller degree here. Now it looks like this just really wants to go up to about 2350 at this stage, which doesn't really takes out the top of wave 3 here, but not here. So we should expect further upside here, because when we look at this here, this is a really nice, if you looked at the accumulation process either from here or even from here, even the smallest degree here, we should be seeing this distance here. If I took this distance here and stood it up on its head, we should be up at 2.5 for this. So it's a little bit small. Let's just go to the hourly chart and I'll show you what I've done so far with this here. So I've looked at this here as wave 1 and 2 here. So this is a conservative count starting from the base, building up, accounting for each wave. So 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. A little bit small compared to the first wave, but the fifth wave is quite small. So a third wave here and a fourth wave here. The fourth wave is a little bit small, so that sort of bothers me a little bit. This move here would be something like 1 and 2 here. Let's just draw this out through here, because this will just help us with our timing a little bit with the other markets. So if we looked at this as 1 and 2, we just copy this here for a moment. So I'm just working the conservative count, which looks a little bit small. 1 and 2 in here. And then it looks like we're at the top of wave 3 here, and wave 4, and then wave 5 to make wave 3, and then copy this for wave 4, and then wave 5 here. I should be doing this on the tick chart, but we can do that perhaps. We'll do that. We'll pull this apart a little bit further, but I'm sort of thinking, well, that might take us above that a little bit, but that would be the third wave there. So we're going to see some sort of fourth wave, and then fifth wave, and then fourth wave pulling back, and then fifth wave here. So it doesn't really seem like it wants to go up that much. So that would be the conservative count, because we're just looking for a top in the SP500 and the NASDAQ and so on. So it might take us a little while to get it. Picking tops and bottoms is not an easy thing. It can be simple at times. It's sometimes a bit complicated. So as a conservative count, this would be okay, and this is where the market would finish. Like I said, there's two things that haunt me here. Is that wave 3 is a little bit small. Maybe I'll go to the tick chart later and check that to see if this wave 3 is over here. And this blue wave 4 is a little bit small compared to this one here. So that bothers me a little bit. But it does give us a starting point to work with, and we can chat about that a little bit. But main point is that on this conservative count, we don't have a long way to go here for this. So just go back to so that would take us up to about the 2350 area, roughly speaking. So coming back to the daily chart. Just grab a line here, 2350 rather, it's close enough. So it takes out the top of wave 3 here, but not the B wave here. So if that's the case, what we could do here, what could occur here, let's just sort of expand out a little bit, is all of this move up here could be just wave 1 here and back for wave 2. So I'll have a look at the internal count here again on the tick chart and go through that, and perhaps you can as well. And then we'll just be prepared that this move up here could be wave 1 and back for wave 2 at that point. But we would need to see that. Do you know what I mean? We'd need to see that as an ABC pattern coming into play at that point. Because I feel like based on the I know that when you get triangles, the fifth wave is not very long, do you know? In fact, you start using things like this distance here for this. So the first high, or even the fifth wave there, and so on. So you start looking at things like this, you know. Yeah, so that's probably about right then, this one here. So we'll just put this in the background a little bit, and we'll just be mindful of that. It's just nice to look at both sides of the market all the time, so you know, we've just got a better grip on reality then. Okay, so that's the Russell, and one way or another we could be approaching a top at 2350, and we just need to be mindful of that, and we'll need to monitor that. In fact, what we should do here is actually just, I haven't really paid much attention to this trade, not that anybody's probably trading it. We'll put it under there for the moment, and so really taking profit on this it's only half a trade here, but taking profit on this at 23.50. So that's our 23.50 there, so I'll just pop that there. Okay, so that brings us to the S&P 500. Let's just zoom out a little bit, and we'll just pick up from yesterday, what we were yakking about yesterday. I don't know where that came from. Okay, so just to talk about this bigger picture here a little bit. I kind of like this one. It feels and looks right. So what I mean by that is that we've got this from wave 2 here to wave 3. We've got a nice long wave 3. We got from wave 2 here to 3 here. It's nice and long. And this third wave compared to wave 1 and 5 here is all good. Just all the proportions seem about right to me, so that's why I kind of like it. If I've made a mistake here, I think my mistake would be that wave 3 would be, this wave 3 would be here, and then we would be going through this wave 4 here. But this would rearrange the count here, of course, but that's all I'm just pointing out. But even so, either way, it won't make any difference for the time being, you know. So we'll put that there and that there, and we'll just copy that, and we'll put that there, but we'll just dull that out. So it's possible that that wave 3 can be there, but like it's just not going to make much difference in the in the short term for this. But while the feds are printing, printing funds, then these assets need to rise. It's kind of that simple to a point. I mean, how long that goes for, I'm not sure, but devaluing the dollar. I mean, the S&P 500 as it stands today is not in terms of dollar. In terms of US dollar, it is where it is up here. But if the relationship between the S&P and gold, if you put them together, well, the S&P hasn't moved. There's only 4 cents in the dollar that's real. So if you had a $1 million home, it's only worth $40,000. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, anyway, that's all another story, isn't it? It's not my expertise. I'm just the pattern person, and I even struggle with that. So I appreciate your support. Let's go in and check on this further. So I've got 2 counts picking up from here. So one of them is we've got wave 3 here. Sorry, let me just check on that. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, just checking on something. So one of them is that we've got wave 4 finishing just here, so to speak. We just don't need that there. So we've got one finishing that doesn't go very far at all here, just gives us a 5th wave up here, hopefully above this one here, so to speak, and then folds down from that point. We can have a look at this in a moment. So that's counting this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That wouldn't be too far from the Russell, I guess. The other count takes us higher. So the other count on the 1 hour chart here looks at this top here as a triangle pattern here, and then I would look at all of this here as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then going up for 3, 4 and 5 for this. Okay, so this one just takes us a little bit longer to the upside. So it just depends on how you label, where you label waveform, and this is pretty stock standard here for counting this as 1 and 2 or 5 waves up here. It can be counted a little bit differently. I've got that on the tick chart. But anyway, they're the two cases that we've got for this. In terms of our trades, which I didn't go to the tick chart yesterday, so apologies about that. We're going to go there now. So yeah, the other way for this is having wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C here, and then starting to count this up through here as we have been. So this, I've moved the stop up under this wave 4 low here now because we had it down here. I don't need these guys, that's all done. So yeah, so we've got the trade pretty much to break even, or we can put it at break even, or though on that position we've got one here. So roughly speaking, so counting this up here as 1 and 2 here, it's probably better suited there actually, but doesn't matter. We've still got wave 2 here. Don't need that thing, it's done its job. Yeah, so that's it really. So this could finish off quite early in the piece as well. So I'm thinking that, you know, it may not be the end of the trend, and picking tops is dangerous business. So, but for this trade here, if we look at this as 1 and 2 here and 3 here and ABC for wave 4 here, and we're going up for wave 5 here, that will take us up to 42.50. So you either take profit or you take a percentage at that point. Because I'd imagine that, you know, even if the market was going to go up further, and even if we can stretch up that far, that's another point as well, isn't it? So be a bit mindful about that. You might want to drop that down a little bit further down here for this. So, well, if we get support on 30, we should get to 50, so I'll just leave it at 50 there for the time being. But even after this, you know, yeah, I mean, the best that you could hope for is a classic trading levels pattern here. So we'd see something like this, and then up from that point. The worst case scenario that it comes back and hits 30 and then moves up. If for whatever reason the market comes down and finds the number, this is all of 4,200 is a minor level and these are sub-levels. So sub-level, this is all of group 1, 1, 2 and 3. So if the market trades up here and then comes back down and finds the 2 as the resistance, then you know that the top is in place at that point, if that becomes the retested resistance there. Okay, then you know, then that's where you pick up your short trade from that point. So that would tell us that, yeah, that trend is finished. So yeah, so that's kind of it really for this. That's one way of looking. This is obviously the conservative count at this particular point, but I think it's worth you know, being mindful about. And you know, even if you don't personally think it's the top there, and I can agree with that, well, then you need to work out, well, where would you leave your stop to be able to continue the journey to the upside at that point. So that's a bit of food for thought. So just to recap all of this, we've got a situation here where it can end here, say 42.50 or even before that, and the other one is that the market just continues to the upside with this particular move here. So what would happen in this case I'm looking at all of this up for 1 here and back for 2 here, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up for 1, the same to the 42.50, then pulling back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, the 42.20 area, and then moving up into wave 3. So we could be seeing a bit more of a move in here for this. So just checking on this here. So I don't know which one is correct at this point. So it might be better if we just leave our stop below here and take a percentage there on that, if that's the case. So just going back to the tick chart here for a moment, let's just... So what we want to do is we want to make money. So you want to set it up that that it's something like this here. Just we'll keep that just out of the way here at 42.06, and then that would accommodate any of these moves coming back, as you know, as that possible wave 1. Possible wave 1 top here and coming back for a wave 2 at this point and then moving up. That's possible. That's the other count, of course, you know. So if you've got taking percentage here and you've got your stop here, you need to come out with a profit at that point. So just give that some thought. Let's just have a look at this a bit more detail. Yeah, you should be able to come out of that all right. It's not a big deal. You just need to work out what piece of the pie that you would like. It's your choice. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. That sort of wraps that up with 2 options there. And the NASDAQ here, this is the bullish count for the NASDAQ, which I still don't know if this is correct, by the way. Obviously, it would need to take this top out here for that. You know, can this be counted as a corrective rally here? It's a little bit large, really, as a corrective rally against this 5-wave move here. So I would assume that we would sort of move up here a little bit. This would also give us, just looking at this visually, because we would need to be above, well, technically, well, we don't technically, all we need really is 5 waves. It doesn't have to make a high. It can be a truncated 5th wave. So that's where that would play out here. We're just looking at this moving up. I won't look at it today because I've used up too much time. I'll need to do the stocks, but yeah, looking for a move above wave B here, or looking for 5 waves up in this move here. So staying long here would be the right thing to do. Okay, let's have a look at some stocks. So with Tesla first, we're pretty much on track. Let me just clean my mess up here. So I'm still viewing this as well, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. And we're looking at this as wave 1 here, and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and then going down for wave 5 here. It's possible to count this as wave 1 and back for wave 2 over here. So we'll just watch this particular rally that's going in here. But from wave 4 down to wave 5, we're looking for 5 smaller waves. Okay, so I think that this first move down here is wave 1, and then we'll have wave 2, and then 3 and 4 and 5 down here. So based on that, we'll go to the tick chart and check on that, bring in a bit more data. So that blue wave 4 that we're talking about here, then we're looking for 5. We're going down from blue wave 4 to blue wave 5, which should be down yonder here somewhere. And we're looking for 5 waves down there. So we can look at wave 3, 1, 2, 3. Put the other ones in while I'm here, and that would do that. So that's this is this path that we're going on here for this. And looking at this here as the top and this is the bottom here. We're on tune for that to be the 61.8% just there. So I just want to drag that across a little bit, just a little bit above that there somewhere. And of course we can look at this here as the ABC pattern here. Let's just clear this out here for this. Looks like there's another little move up there. So probably the B, we're going into the C wave here, probably 1 and 2 here, and probably the third wave here, and the fourth and a fifth wave coming into here, and then coming down, bouncing off that, moving through here, and this would be the short trade here. So taking that as finding the first low below the level here, and then setting that up, and if it gets triggered, it gets triggered, and the stop can go above here for that. You're on your way on the short side for that. You need to just double check that. I haven't got time to pull it apart, but I'm just assuming that's wave 4 because I don't see a real wave 4 in there so far. If it finds support on top of the 610, then we've got a bit of an issue at that point. Then we would have to go back to 200 here, go back to the daily chart, and then we would need to look at a situation that that either made wave 4 more complicated, or we'd need to look at all of this as down here for wave 1 and back to wave 2 above the 650. So we'll just see how it goes, but we've got that nice setup on that on the 600 there. So we'll have that nice setup there. So classic trading levels pattern on the downside. You know, it may be nice and clean like I've just made it then, if that's the 600 here. It might be nice and clean like that, looking for that reference point low, but it might come back up above the level here. So in that case, it would look a bit like this. So it doesn't really matter. All you need to know is the first low. You need to wait for that, and then you wait for your second low. That's all you really need to do. You know, you can continue to refine it. You know, I mean, you could sell it up here if you knew certain things. If you knew that, well, you had 5 waves here, you had 3 here, and you had 5 here, and then you were in the 5th wave. But also too, more importantly, the move up here is on lower volume. This whole move up here would be on lower volume than the move down here, because this would be increasing volume, lower volume, and then increasing volume here. So if this is moving up here and it's on low volume, and it's easier to read the volume bars and the price bars together in that relationship rather than looking at indicators, because indicators are a little bit loose. They can help you decide things, indicators. You know, they could help you decide what wave that you're in, or there's a turning point coming and so on, but they're not really sharp enough to, you know, cut through to the chase. So, I mean, I'll probably get flack for that, but that's what I found. Okay, so that's that. Let's just go to the next one, which is Facebook. So with Facebook here, we'll just go to the bigger picture for a moment. So with Facebook here, we're just basically looking for 5 waves up here. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So this is a really good sign too. I mean, if this is a top, if this is 5 waves here and there's a top here, then that's a good case for, well, Tesla could roll over, Facebook could roll over at this point. So there are 2 that would be in line with like the S&P at that point. So we've been tracking this to the upside here. So from this wave 4 as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then going up for wave 5. We've been involved in this a little bit. I don't know if we still had that trade there, did we? Or did we get stopped? I think we got stopped out, or we took profit or something. It doesn't matter. So yeah, so we're looking for this here. Well, first things first, we can move this stop up here. Let's do that. So we have to count 5 waves up here, but it's a little bit tricky. I mean, this wave C here could be over here for that. And look at that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That would be suitable. So forget about the spike. And then look at this as 1 and 2 in here. I still have that extra wave in here and that one. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finishing here. Let's just move up a little bit further, shall we? So that's that. I'll let you decide. I'll just put it nice and close here for that. Just put it under that 5 there, under 335. You'll probably get stopped out, but I just don't know how much more is left in this. I mean, it looks like a nice 4th wave here. It has extended in the 5th. I mean, this is quite long. I mean, each range here is getting longer. I'll let you mull that over. I'm not sure that. I'm just not sure where that top is. Could be here. Could be 1, 2. Could be there, or it could be further up here at the 40. Not quite sure. This will probably stop you out here because it probably needs to test the 335. But I just want to look after that profit there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I still don't have any answers for square. I know that we've got wave 3 here with an A, B, C here. So this is in 3 waves here for this. So we should be making a high above here at some point. And so the A wave's cool. A, B, C for the B wave is fine. I know I can get 5 waves to the C wave here. So I can get 5 waves down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. But it doesn't really produce a nice wave 4, and I just feel that all of that belongs to the same family, the 3rd wave there, so being the 4th wave here and the 5th wave. So we've been looking at this high here. If the market went above that, we'd be long at that point. We could probably get a better position on that, and we'll look at that. But otherwise, we should just see this continue to the downside here. So it looks like the supply is all at 220, so that means that it could retest that, but we'd want it to fail and move down at that point. And if it found that as support, well, then we'd probably have to look to the long side at that point. So just with that in mind and going into the tick chart. So yeah, looking at it as wave 4, and I should really just update that. That needs to be blue wave 4. So I've started to count down here, as you know, and it's all going okay. We could look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then looking at this as little wave 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a nice 3rd wave, and a little 4th wave here. The 5th wave here, I'm going to use this here as the 5th wave here for the 3rd, even though it hasn't made a new low here. And then this would be wave 4 here for this, coming back to this wave 4 low here for this, unless we can look at it. The other point here is looking at it as 5 waves down, as somehow 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then we go back to the 50-60% retracement level, and that's what it's doing at the moment. So that would take us back into this space. So either way, I'd still need to be careful. So that point there, and I'm just looking at all the options here as wave 1 here, and copy that as wave 2 sitting there for that. So yeah, nothing to be sort of said or done just yet for this. So we'll just continue to sort of chill on this one for a moment. Okay, let's have a look at Apple. So with Apple here, we're in a bit of a rally, but just noting that this top here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave, and this is in 3 waves here. And we're looking down for wave C here for this. So we've counted 5 waves down through here as wave 1. Now, I was viewing this here as wave 2, but the 50-60% retracement level is still over here for this. So I'm starting to think, and this move down, you know, if we had this here as an A and a B and a C wave here, then this move down through here, yes, it could be wave 1, but it reminds me more of a lazy C wave coming down here. So I'm thinking that we've got an A wave to here, then an A and a B and a C wave to here, and then we're going to have 5 waves up to the 130, 133 sort of area, and then come down from that point. So if you've got any short trades in this, then you'll need to maybe to get rid of them at let's just go check here on the tick chart. So first of all, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and I thought that we may have this as the A, the B and the C to here and finish here, and then we could look at this as down for 1 here and then coming back for 2 here and then going down. So basically this wave, blue wave 2 will be over here. We have this as wave 1 and 2 here and then coming down from that point. But the problem with that is that this particular move that we've seen here looks impulsive. So between that high and that low here, this is the 50-60% retracement level. So at this price here at the 126.50, which is also the lower end of group 2, so 65, 72 and 80 here, this group 2 area. So yeah, if this top is breached, then you'll need to exit any short trades that you have in here for this. And then the market would look like this here. So wave 1 here, an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave over here for the green B wave, and then 5 waves up here for green wave C of 2. That's what I'm thinking at this particular point in time. The thing I don't like about this is that when we're talking about a market going from wave 1 to wave 2, we always look at that as an ABC pattern, as a zigzag pattern, which is normally 5 waves, then 3 waves, and then 5 waves. So it's a 5, 3, 5 structure. But here, I don't have 5 waves here for this. I only have 3, this sharp move up here, then a pullback here, and then if you've got a keen eye, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that. So it's in 3 waves here. Still makes all of that, this 3 waves here makes all of this, whatever happens in this space, as corrective. So that means more downside will be followed. So at this stage, I don't want to go long here either. Because just in case I have got this right as this being wave 1 here, and then going back up here, all of this down here for wave 1, a little ABC back for wave 2, and then drop from that point. So I don't want to get sort of sucked in either. But I can say to you that if the 126.50 becomes the tested support, then you need to be out of any short trades. Okay. It's just a little bit, it's just unfortunate really. It's just we're in a corrective space here and the market is sideways and choppy. Obviously if this low gets taken out, we can short from that low there. That's not the drama. But otherwise, yeah, we need to be looking at this here. But this here, you know, we'll see how it goes. It may just be an A and a B and a C coming back up to the second supply level there and folding over. I just don't know. It's just that looks impulsive, so that means it would get another 5 waves. It could be something like that. You know, I don't know. I just don't know at this point. Okay, so we'll move on to Google. We don't have a trade in Google at the moment, but we've just been tracking it to the upside. So it looks like a little 5 waves here, doesn't it? Now, will that translate into another 5 waves? Will that be, we're on 100 ticks at the moment. Will that translate into, you know, 3, 4 and 5 up here for that? It's a little bit long, I guess. We still would probably want it shorter than the 3rd wave. So sometimes what I find that works quite well is taking the distance of the 3rd wave there and then looking for the 61.8%, but in this case we can just go to the 38.2, same thing, just upside down, and move that over to here. So that will just take us to this old high here for that. So we'll see how that plays out here, but once again we're looking for a top and we're close to it, you know what I mean? So that kind of folds in with the not that everything will turn exactly at the same time, so to speak, unless there's an event, but they're all looking, you know, even the markets that are moving up in some sort of rally, they don't have long to go either. So we're getting close to that top, you know. It's just about who gets there first and who gets there last and what happens in between and so on and so on. Okay, we'll look at Amazon. So with Amazon here, it's quite clear that we have this move down through here, this impulse wave, and I'd always been looking for it to move back to the 50-60% retracement level. It hasn't done that, and I don't know if it's got the time to do that now. You know, I mean, will we just have a small correction here and move down lower from this point? This is what I'm trying to sort of figure out here. So let's just go in and have a bit of, we'll look at both sides. We'll look at the market rallying to here and we'll also look at it dropping further. So I'll just go to 100 ticks. So yeah, I just don't know if it's got time to get up there in this space, you know. What I mean by that is, does it have time to get all the way back up to here? I mean, my original count for this was the A wave here, the B wave over here, and the C wave here for this, with the B wave or wave 2 sitting here for that. I mean, in that case, we'd need to look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 1 here and 2 here for that, and then down for wave 3. So I'm just looking at both sides here for this for the time being. So if that was the case, if that was already wave 2 in here, and we had wave 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 1 and wave 2 here, then, you know, we'd expect, I thought we may have had a low in here. It was a bit hard for me to work this out here, but, and it did create a new low onto that trend line now. So it still leaves us with this 50-60% retracement level in this space. So I just still think we just give it a bit more time here for this. Let's just see what occurs here. We want some sort of, either we're going to go up to here or we're going to go here and then we're going to go down from that point. I just don't know. When this is 100 ticks, I can't even figure it out on the 20 ticks here for this. This was our original count sitting here, so I haven't seen this for a while, but yeah, I mean, there's some things that there's some things I can make out here. You know, this sideways movement would be a wave 4, so to speak, but even this, I'm not sure to count that as 1 and 2 here because that looks a bit high. So I can't get my head around this in a good enough way, you know. So let's just see, is this finished? I don't even know if that's finished yet. But it does bring me to an important point here that that when we're talking about the trading levels for a moment, here we've got 1, 2, and 3 here, and my normal story is that if the market has been playing up around the top of group 1 here, so 1, 2, and 3 up around here, and then the market comes down and finds the number 2 here as the resistance, then we look to short at that point. So shorting under here would be it. I just don't know if this is I don't know if this is actually finished here for this at the moment. But I'll leave that there, and we can leave this over here for that, and then I'll have to move that just to here. I still don't know what the right count is for that. I mean, all of this could just be the third wave with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So would that be 1 and 2 at that point? Does that give me 5 waves here? Okay, so anyway, work's got to be done here. If anybody can figure that out, let us know. That would be great. But otherwise, if this number here becomes the resistance, then we should be on the short side from that point. But we've still got a few days rally, do you know what I mean, in the other markets. So this is where this could lift up here in some way, you know. Anyway, let's just, if this low goes out here, then perhaps get a short position. You may be short already, and that would be fine as well. I think we talked about being short yesterday, didn't we? So that means that would need to leave a stop above here somewhere for that. I don't know if that's too far for you. I mean, it's not like the S&P, is it? You know what I mean? We don't have to be that close to the market. So yeah, this whole move here is corrective, right? It's not impulsive because we've got 3 waves in the first move here. So whatever happens here is corrective. So we are going down. So if you can hold, that would be great. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.